Good afternoon, everyone. Today, Mateo and I are going to talk about a core concept in teaching English, language functions.
To start, we need to understand the basic definition. According to Penny UR, as mentioned in the text, language function is simply the purpose or reason why are we communicating.
Exactly. In the past, we focused heavily in a grammar structure like the present simple or past tense. But function asks a different questions. Why are we saying this sentence? Or what do we want to achieve?
So, after this, let's look at a simple example from the text involving the phrase, I am so tired.
If a parent says this to a doctor, the function is describing feelings. They are explaining a symptom.
But if a young girl says the exact same thing, I am so tired, to her mother while doing homework, the function changed completely. She isn't just describing a feeling, she is actually performing the function of requesting to stop doing homework.
This shows us that meaning depends on context, not just words.
So, for this, let's talk about the next part. This is called the exponent and the context. This brings us the... So, this leads us to the next part, the exponent and the context. To talk about this, we first have to focus on the key term that you see in the book, the exponent. An exponent is the actual language or phrase we use to express a function. So on our previous example, the example was I am so tired. That was the exponent.
And as we saw, one exponent can have different meanings, but it works the other way around too. One single function can be expressed by many different exponents. Let's take the function of requesting, exactly asking someone to open a window.
There are many ways to say this. You could say, it's hot here, could you open the window please? You can also say, please open the window, or also you can say, I was wondering if you could open the window.
Or even something very indirect like, would it be possible for you to open the window?
These have specific meanings because all of these are different exponents, but they all serve to the exact same function, getting the window open. Now let's talk about the structure versus the function.
Now we talk about the structure versus function. This is why it is so important to distinguish between grammatical structure and function.
The textbook gives a great table on this. Sometimes the grammar doesn't match what the sentence is actually doing. For example, the sentence, there is a car coming, grammatically, this is present progressive tense, but functionally, it is a warning.
Or the phrase, can you come to dinner? Grammatically, this is an interrogative using the modal can, but functionally, it is an invitation.
So, if we only teach students the grammar rules, they might miss the social purposes of the sentence. They need to know why that can you is often an invitation, not just a question about ability.
The text outlines that we must consider the context, the situation and place, and the relationship between the speakers.
For example, if we said, let's look at the drinks, example from the Exactly book, imagine if you want to offer someone a drink. There is a hierarchy of formality here.
At the most informal level, maybe among friends at school, you might use say coffee or fancy a drink.
But if you are in a business meeting or speaking to someone you don't know well, you will use a different exponent. You might say, could I offer something to drink?
And at the very top of the formality scale, you have, I would be delighted to offer you some refreshment.
Our job as a teachers is to help students pick the right level of formality. We don't want them asking a CEO fancy a drink, and we don't want them speaking like a butler to their best friends.
Finally, to grow up, why is this important for our teaching?
That's exact and very good question. The text explains that focusing on this only list of grammar structures like verb to be, present simple can be dull and uninteresting for students.
Teaching functions make the class more stimulating. It allows us to teach language in context. It encourages students to use their imagination and even humor.
Instead of just conjugating verbs, they are learning how to apologize, how to invite, how to warn, how to complain, and even they are learning how to actually use the language instead of only try to remember it. So thank you very much for your attention.
We hope this explanation helps clarify language functions.
Until the next time, bye bye.